Hey y'all, it's Betsy, and today is actually Tuesday when I'm filming this. Since tomorrow I will be at the doctor all day, I have to, let's start that over. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Hey y'all, it's Betsy, and today I figured we would do a Chit Chat Get Ready with me. I'm actually filming this on Tuesday. I normally film the keto and CrossFit update videos live on Wednesdays, but tomorrow I will be at the doctor in Baytown all day, which is about an hour-and-a-half drive or so away from where I live. So my day is pretty much booked all day with my fibromyalgia appointment. So I figured we'd do a Chit Chat Get Ready with me today, and then I'll post the keto and CrossFit update a day late. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm taking some Scotch tape and making it not so sticky, because I want to do a very sharp eye look, I guess is the best way to put it. And typically I do start, as you can see, with my eyes. Now, yesterday's video, I kind of did a video over my favorite things, and I talked about being a true crime buff. And last night we watched on HBO the Mommy Dead and Mommy Dearest documentary, which is over the Gypsy Rose and Dee Dee Blanchard case, where she had her boyfriend murder her mom. But once you actually kind of get into the case a little bit, there's a lot more going on than meets the eye, especially since the doctors and things like that say that Dee Dee had probably one of the worst cases of Munchausen by proxy that they had ever seen, and she just did not treat her daughter well. She could walk and she kept her in a wheelchair, had her on a feeding tube, had all kinds of painful procedures done to her child, which, being a mother, seems so crazy to even think about. I mean, why would you want to purposely harm your child? Now, most of the look today, I'm going to be using the Melt Gemini palette. Right now, I'm just taking the shade Luna to set my eye primer, which is a good nude base for my skin tone. But watching that and hearing everything, and it was like every doctor and social worker and things like that, you know, out of all the different doctor's appointments and things like that, there was one doctor who reported her, and she was able to talk her way out of that situation. So her daughter felt like she had no real recourse on things to do, which is understandable. It seemed like at every turn they failed her. And her mom was trying to get her considered an incapacitated adult or have power of attorney, so that way she wouldn't have any rights at all, which is absolutely crazy to me. But just the whole situation of it, and all these people, her blood relatives, came out after the fact talking about how terrible she was, but nobody did anything to help Gypsy. Gypsy honestly didn't even know her true age. I mean, she thought she was 19 years old, and when the crime happened, she was 23. I mean, could you imagine not even knowing how old you were? And her mom told her she had leukemia and epilepsy and muscular dystrophy. Her mom scammed everybody. And watching that, it kind of rang true to some of the things. I didn't deal with Munchausen by proxy, by no means, but to the whole system failing that child rang true to me. And that was a little bit crazy. And I feel like with the things that that little girl suffered through, the amount of time that she got as far as prison time definitely seemed a little harsh, in my opinion. I mean, she got 10 years, but she suffered her entire life. I mean, she went through all kinds of painful procedures that she didn't need. She had her salivatory glands removed, which is what helps produce saliva in your mouth, which in turn caused all of her teeth to rot, and she had to have all of her teeth removed. I mean, just the stuff that she went through was crazy. Today I'm going for a very army green look since I'm wearing camo. I bought this jumpsuit at Bubbles and Bliss, or romper. It's not really a jumpsuit, it's a romper because it's shorts, but it is so cute. And I was like, and I'm not typically a fan of camo. I think this is the only thing camo I own in my wardrobe. But the way that it looked and the way that it fit was just so cute. And as you can see right now, I'm just building up my crease with the green shades from the Gemini palette. This palette is so good. I love this palette. But with all the things that that poor little girl went through, it's hard to imagine the length of time she got in prison, considering in her liking prison better than living with her mom. So you know that what she dealt with had to have been really bad. And it wasn't just the Munchausen by proxy. She tried to run away and her mom found her very quickly, and that made it hard. And there was some physical abuse as well going on. So that documentary really got to me, but I wanted to know more about it because if you have Hulu and you've started watching The Act, which is a dramatized version of the Gypsy Rose Blanchard story, I wanted to know more and understand and see the real deal behind what happened. As I said, especially being a mom, I don't know. It seems absolutely crazy to me that she was able to do it for so long. I mean, Habitat for Humanity built her a house, and I don't know. Then we also watched last night the documentary over Mr. Rogers, which as a child, I adored Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It was such a good show. And I was talking to my husband, and Nadia was watching it with us last night. And she was like, there was nothing like that when we were kids on. And that's the truth. He brought up the hard subjects on the show and made it where kids could understand it because that was important to him. He was a minister, and being able to, that was how he got his message out. I'm gonna drop my palette. I'm going to take this lime green gold from the Misunderstood palette by ColourPop, and that's what I'm going to put all over my lid. I figured this would be really fun, and I'm taking my setting spray, wetting my brush so it really pops. But as I said before, I love documentaries. I love to learn more pretty much about anything. I'm super excited for November 12th is when the Disney Plus TV service comes out, and they have some really good documentaries over the making of and behind the scenes for like the Marvel movies and making of Frozen and things like that that I'm really super excited to see. See how pretty that color looks? it really pops. It's such a unique shade, and I don't have anything else like this in my collection. So it was definitely worth it to me to buy the palette, and I've used the palette quite a bit. I just wanted to mix in some more army colors. That's why I was like, well, I'll use the Melt palette and then use that bright lime green shade as my lid color. But yeah, we went and saw Shazam this past weekend. I mean, as you know, if you watch my channel, you saw that we made shirts for it. And I think DC is finally starting to get the comic book movies and make them better, because it seems like for a long time that their movies compared to Marvel just did not do as well. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of Aquaman, but who's not a huge fan of Jason Momoa? And which is kind of funny because most comic book people, or at least in my household, Aquaman is not the coolest superhero, and now people adore Aquaman because they chose Jason Momoa to play it, which was really good. So I think I'm done with the top portion of my eyes. I think they look pretty good. Right now I'm just kind of going back and making sure where I put that limey green gold color is smooth. And if you hear a lot of stuff going on in the background, we got people printing and doing accounting and all that fun kind of stuff. It's the middle of the day and I need to get ready to film live videos for, I'll be doing the live video on my main channel today, which I do every single, see how nice and crisp that looks now? Which I do every single Tuesday. So, with that being said, it's busy in the background, so I'm sorry if it's noisy. Okay, curl my lashes. Add the tiniest bit of mascara, because I think I'm going to do some false lashes today. My lashes just don't seem lately wanting to hold a curl like they used to, and it doesn't seem like most of the mascaras are wanting to work on my eyes like they used to. I just started a new vitamin, so hopefully that will help with it. And I'm using the Ardell lashes. These are some of my favorites. These are the accent number 5. And if I'm wearing a false lash, this is typically what I use. They don't have to be trimmed, which I like. Let's see if I can get the dog hair off of them. That's the fun of having pets. They don't have to be trimmed, and they apply so easily. They are my favorites. And typically I just place them on really close to my natural lash line. See how easy that was? And they give drama without being too dramatic, if that makes sense. So let's do the other eye. The other eye is the eye that I have the most problems with, because I am legally blind in my right eye. So That's why I'm not very good at doing like winged eyeliner and stuff like that. But again, as you can see, these are some lashes that I can place on pretty easily. I don't think I put enough lash glue on that one. I do that every once in a while. And I actually like the lash glue that comes with them. It comes with, well, this is the Sephora lash adhesive, but it's pretty much the same kind of packaging. They're just little mini eyelash glues. And I will reuse and reuse these lashes quite a bit. Now, I know a lot of beauty gurus, when they do lashes, they apply them after the lash glue has dried some, so it's tacky. But I like to apply them when the lash glue is still pretty wet, so I have some movability to them. And just kind of press them in place. See how good that looks? Now I need to take my brush, because I have the gold on my finger. See? That limey gold color, and got some above where it was supposed to be in the look. So let me grab a wipey. I always keep these handy when I'm doing my makeup, like, because it helps if you make any type of mistake. There we go. And then once the lash glue is dry, like this eye should be dry, I'm going to take my Marc Jacobs. This is in the shade Rio Cocoa. And I just deepen right in that inner waterline. So that way, as you can see, it kind of helps the eyelashes blend a little bit better. And then I take, once that's done, take my eyelash curler and curl where it blends my real lashes in with the falsies. So see, they look nice and natural. Now it's time to move on to face makeup. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is, this is the Hourglass Mineral Primer, Mineral Veil Primer. I love this primer. It is my holy grail primer, and I typically buy it in that big tube. It's like 75 bucks, but it lasts forever, especially when you cycle through other primers. So just take and apply that. Now we're gonna get to the stuff that moves pretty fast. We also went and saw the new Pet Cemetery, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. My husband and I went and saw it. If you haven't tried the Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation, the shade range is pretty, but the foundation itself just sits so beautifully on the skin. I hate when brands come out with terrible shade ranges, because everybody needs to be included, but I have such a hard time finding foundation that works well for my skin tone, because I have a medium olivey complexion, so I have some warmth to my skin, but I'm not truly warm. So sometimes foundations come out looking yellow and looking orange on me. And then I have others that, because I don't have pink undertones, that definitely don't look right. But I have to say, this probably has one of the most beautiful, beautiful finishes I have ever seen on a foundation. And as you can see, once I blend it down my neck, it really blends well with my complexion. It's actually a very good color match. And I like the way it dries, and I like the way it wears. It doesn't seem to settle bad into my fine lines, which I just started a new skincare regimen. I bought some new eye cream by Kate Somerville, which was pretty pricey, and I'm hoping to help with the, like, my under eye area, because that's where I tend to crease the most. Using the Maybelline Age Rewind in Neutralizer. This is a great concealer. It's really good at brightening, and it lays really well on the skin. And I typically, as you can see, like a foundation that has a bit more coverage. So that Beauty Blender foundation to me has a high medium coverage. It's not a full coverage. It doesn't cover all my sins, as I like to say when I'm testing out a foundation, but it covers really, really well. So I don't need a whole lot of concealer, but I do have to hide my under eye bags. The mom look. Okay, so now I'm going to take my Hourglass. This palette I have had forever, and I'm going to take the, which one is it? The finishing powder. This really light shade right here. Is so pretty to set under the eyes. And I got this because as I said, I've had this palette for, it's not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before last palette. And palettes are typically, powders are 24 months. I could be wrong. I could be using this after expiration date, because I wanted to try more of Hourglass's powder products, but I didn't want to spend a fortune on each individual product. There we go. So as you can see, I just use that to set under my eyes. Now I'm going to take this little brush right here, and I'm going to take that bronzer shade, and I'm going to use that to contour my nose a little bit. And right now it looks crazy, but once I take that, I take my sponge and go over it so it blends it in. So you can see it's got a little bit of contour to it, but nothing, actually it's bronzer. Now I'm gonna take my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. And this is a big P12 anesthetic brush. I think I got this in a BoxyCharm. Just bronze up the face. Which, as you can see, I have the blonde hair now. And what I've been doing to kind of help with my roots, because bleaching is so damaging to your hair, is I bought the John Frieda Go Blonder spray. And I don't use it every day. I use it about once a week. After I've washed and conditioned my hair really well. See how pretty that is? This is the deep bronzer. And I love the way that looks on my skin. But to kind of help with the roots without going too crazy. And typically once I do my forehead with the bronzer, I take my sponge and kind of go back over a little bit so the lines don't look so harsh. Because sometimes I can go a little overboard with the bronzer. But this is the time of year where my skin really starts to deepen up quite a bit, because I love going out in the sun, and I use my convertible. I do wear sunscreen. That is part of the reason, especially on my face. That is part of the reason why I have like a piece of glitter from yesterday's eye look stuck, there we go, in my concealer. But, and that's one of the things about it, is trying to get glitter off is like almost impossible. But using my Too Faced powder brush and the Too Faced Just Papa Don't Peach, I think that's the color of this, yeah, Papa Don't Peach, a beautiful peachy blush. But I don't want to damage my hair, but it helps lighten it because it's like sun-in without going to, you know, you get what I'm saying? Which I know we're gonna go see the new Avengers whenever it comes out. I haven't bought tickets to that yet because it comes out May the 24th, and we are going to be going to California from May, like the weekend before. And I don't know how tired we are going to be coming home that weekend, so I have not bought tickets to that yet. And I'm just now taking the small end of the After Dark brush from Urban Decay and using the deep shade. And then I'm going to take the smaller, or the fluffier end, and using the lighter shade that I mainly used for my crease to blend out under my eyes. I don't know about y'all, but for me, like especially like this kind of look, this really true army green look, to me feels like it's super flattering on my skin. Now I'm taking the Chloe Morello palette by Pixie, and we're going to do our eyebrows. And I just had them threaded, so they look really good right now. And I'm just taking, this is an angled brush by Japanese, and I'm using that taupey blonde shade because I want to fill in my brows, but I don't want them so dark where they're so dark against, you know, my new hair color. But I just take and use that to fill them in, give them a nice shape. See how easy that is? Now, I'm not one of those people who takes 20 hours on my brows. I typically either will use a pencil or a powder and just fill them in, because my brows are not sparse in the least, and with the type of hair texture I have, I really don't have to have a brow gel or anything like that. As you can see, they kind of just go where they're supposed to and lay. It's mainly filling in. So I'm not sure where it cut off because I was doing my brows, because I've been talking a long time and it takes a long time to do one of these videos. But I am doing my Anastasia Amorese highlight, and I'm just using a duo fiber brush. and applying that to the high points on my cheeks, right at my brows. See, I love that highlight. Just the tiniest bit on my nose and on my Cupid's bow. So for the most part, now my makeup is done. So I'm gonna take my setting spray, because before I do lips and mascara, for the most part, I set my face and then I do the rest. But I wanted to still have content, and as I said, I have not done a Chit Chatty Get Ready with me in a long time, so I figured this would be kind of fun. But if y'all have any documentaries or anything like that that y'all recommend for me to check out, let me know, because as you can see, I love documentaries. I am getting better at braiding my hair. That was one of my New Year's resolutions, was to learn a little bit more about hair. And then typically after I spray my face, I take my sponge and just kind of go over everything, make sure everything looks nice and blended in. But see, I mean, this is a pretty simple look. The reason why it's taking so long is because I'm sitting here talking through it. Now I'm gonna take this Morphe M321, which is just a pencil brush, and I'm gonna take my same highlight shade and use that to brighten up that inner corner. See how pretty that looks together? That champagne really kind of helps make that limey green pop, at least in my opinion. Which I typically highlight my inner corner before I do a setting spray, but I didn't today. Same mascara. Coat my lower lashes. And to me, there's almost nothing than a dramatic eye. As you know, eyes are my thing. Whew. But anyways, so now that is pretty much done. Now it's just time for lips, and the look is complete. And I've really been getting into Bailey Sarian. If you haven't seen her and you like makeup and you like true crime, on Mondays she always does a murder, mystery, and makeup Mondays. And she talks about some really crazy cases. And she says things so well. I am terrible at lining my lips, just so y'all know. And this is just the tardiest later Graham. It's just a nude, pinky nude lip liner. But when I wear the Hades ColourPop cream lipstick, I love this shade, but it's a little bit light without mixing it in on me with like a deeper lip liner. Let me grab my sponge, there we go. And that is the finished look. As I said, if there are any documentaries you want me to check out, let me know. If there's any movies you want me to check out or books that you're reading that I might find interesting. I am big on reading and, sorry, I had a little piece of mascara, things like that, and I find it so fascinating. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you like this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button right down below. And if you hit the notification bell icon next to it, that will notify you when I post new videos, which is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't forget to check me out on all my social medias, which is Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as my main channel if you're looking for in-depth Cricut tutorials, silhouette tutorials, brother, scan and cut, and just fun craftiness all together. I guess that's it for today's video. I love this look. And I guess I'll see y'all next time.